Hey everybody, JJ here. Welcome back for another episode of Zoom Networking. We have a special Wednesday afternoon going for you. It's Wednesday, the big W, and who else they have on the big W but Winston Widdes, man of the hour, great friend of mine, real estate expert, entrepreneur, businessman, coach, trainer, just a wealth of knowledge on a whole slew of technical topics. But I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. Winston, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks, JJ. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I met you 3 years ago when I started my real estate education with a program that is a national program, and you've always been someone that stood out with a wealth of knowledge. And here we are on a Wednesday, and what better speaker to have on a Wednesday than Mr. W himself, Winston Widdes. So really briefly, tell us what you're going to talk about, and then I will jump ship and let you continue. But what's your topic today? What are you going to tell people about?
Yeah, much appreciated, JJ. I'm going to be talking about how to work with agents. So something that a lot of investors, sub-twos, wholesalers deal with agents, and many have had frustrating experiences. So today we're going to be talking about how to have fun working with agents and how to get the most leads and deals working with agents.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned, wholesaling and sub-two, and one of the premier education groups in the country right now is Pace Morby and his creative finance sub-two team. So hopefully those people that are watching this right now, if they're not on the call, they're watching the recording, but I'm sure they're all going to find this a wealth of knowledge as well. So with no further ado, brother, take it away.
All right. Thanks so much, JJ. I really appreciate it. So this is the big topic for today, how to work with agents. And I want to share with you first what you're going to get out of this. I know you're all busy, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be here, JJ. I really appreciate you bringing me into the group to share. And this is something I'm really passionate about. So I want to make sure everybody gets a lot of value out of this. And so my promise to you, what I want you to be able to walk away with from spending your time here, investing your time here, is how to easily get repeat deals without going crazy, chasing agents around, getting ghosted, or getting inundated with unqualified leads. So if you've been in this business for any period of time as an investor, as a wholesaler, as a sub-two, chances are you've been ghosted by an agent, you've chased agents around, you felt like you're herding cats with them. Maybe they've sent you a flood of leads, but none of them were any good. They were all retail leads. So this is really my goal, is to help you be able to avoid all of that headache and get some repeat deals. So my goal, if you stay until the end, is for you to discover how to tap into the most profitable niche in real estate. And what makes this different? There's a lot of things out there. And so I want to share first who I am and how I got started, so you can just get a sense of what I bring to the table for you. My name is Winston Widdes, and I started learning flipping in 1998. So right after I graduated from high school, I started working for a guy who is flipping houses in San Diego, Ocean Beach, California, and was working with a friend. We were doing all the grunt work, putting in new floor, tearing out floors, putting in floors, painting, taking off the roofs, putting on new roofs, everything from the ground up. And he was a one-man solo operator basically, but he had us as a crew, me and my friend, and some randoms that would come through every once in a while. So that's how I got started in the business. And I became a licensed realtor in 2005. So I became an agent in Southern California, started working my way up into becoming a top producing agent in around 2007 through 2008, right before the big crash. And I really, as an agent, I saw my friend, the mentor, become successful, financially independent as a real estate flipper, as an investor. And so I wanted to do that too. I wanted to learn, how can I become financially free? How can I become a real estate investor? And I saw becoming a licensee, a licensed realtor, as a way to do that. So that was kind of how I got started. And then as a result of building my own business as an agent, I learned marketing. I learned all sorts of different marketing, and I really started to love and specialize in internet marketing specifically. And I became an internet marketing consultant for a well-known company, a national company, with over 6,000 calls with various real estate investors and wholesalers across the country. So I got a lot of experience working with folks in one-on-one settings and started to really learn about the frustrations that so many wholesalers and investors and sub-twos face when they get into this business. So a little bit more about me. I hit my goal of learning more about real estate investing, becoming a real estate investor myself. I've worked with some folks you may be familiar with. I've been able to invest alongside some folks that you may be familiar with in one of their commercial deals. And as an author, I've published multiple #1 best-selling books and some in the real estate space. And then I do some certifications in the internet marketing, inbound marketing area. So I've done a lot of marketing. I've done a lot of things right in my career, and I have done a lot of things wrong. And so what I want to share with you is, after doing this for about 16 years in this business, I want to share with you as an investor, as a wholesaler, as a sub-2, how you can be a golden ticket that agents really want to have. How can you be really super valuable to agents? Okay, because agents are often running around crazy, like chickens with their heads cut off, like unhurtable cats. And so we can become extremely valuable to them. You're also going to learn one thing I learned after doing this for a number of years, that there is a dark secret that real estate investors don't really understand about agents. And understanding this changes everything. Okay, so you're going to learn that today. And agents and real estate investors, and when I say real estate investors, I'm grouping together wholesalers, I'm grouping together sub-twos under that umbrella. I found in my experience working with hundreds, if not thousands of investors across the country, that agents, investors don't always see eye to eye. They don't know how to work together without going crazy. And so what you're going to learn here, you can plug this into pretty much any market. I know some of you are in very competitive markets. I was in Southern California market for most of my career, a very competitive San Diego market. So I can certainly appreciate that. And I worked with investors all across the country in some of the most competitive markets in the country. So this works, fortunately, pretty much no matter where you are. Now, I discovered all of this the hard way. And the good news is that you get to cheat and get the easy way. So the hard way is that many of the investors I've worked with, they would call an agent, and sometimes maybe they would even get a call back, right? You've probably had the experience, if you've been in this business any period of time, where you've tried reaching an agent, you called them, you saw them online, you called them, and crickets. They just never even got back to you. Very common experience. Maybe you reached out to that agent and asked if they have any deals, and they said, no, what are you doing? Of course I don't have deals. And they maybe even got angry, or why are you wasting their time? So the rejection can be very hard as an investor trying to find deals. Again, herding cats is a common phrase that I hear when working with investors that are trying to work with agents. They're all over the place. They're often unorganized, and it can be very frustrating. And then getting ghosted, which is a phrase, basically they start off great. You're having a lot of rapport. They're fun to work with. Oh my gosh, we're going to do so much business. And then they just disappear. They stop returning your calls. They stop returning your texts, and they kind of ghost out. They kind of disappear. So those are very common experiences that investors and sub-twos, as well as wholesalers experience working with agents. So this is the opportunity. Do you want the easy way that does not require you to ever deal with flaky agents? Hoping you do, because in the last 5.5+ years, I've helped hundreds, maybe thousands of real estate investors, wholesalers, rehabbers, and sub-twos generate leads from agents. And the good news is I didn't break their bank. There are ways to do this without spending too much money. Really, you can just spend a little bit of time if you're focused. So that's what we're going to be going through. And now my screen froze. There we go. So just a quick disclaimer. These results are not typical, right? As with all businesses, most people will not implement. Results vary based on any number of factors, including but not limited to your experience, the market conditions, market area that you're in, your sales and marketing skills, and other factors. So success is not guaranteed. So the 3 secrets that I'm going to share with you today. Secret number one is that I, as an investor, you as an investor, as a wholesaler, as a rehabber, as a sub two, can get more deals in 1 month than most other people can get in a year in other niches. That's right. Working with agents is an opportunity to get repeat business, multiple deals a year, and sometimes even multiple deals a month. So this is a really, really huge opportunity that many investors and agents just get frustrated with. They kind of burn out and they don't want to deal with them anymore. Second secret is, this is the dark secret that we're going to cover, dark secret of agents that even most agents don't know. This is something I learned the hard way as an agent myself. And you, by learning this here today, are going to be way ahead of the pack of most of the other investors in your market. This is a competitive advantage that when you understand this and when you implement based on this information, it's really going to help you in your market get more deals. And secret number three is that I only need a little bit of time to make this work. You only need a little bit of time in your business once you get this rolling, about 30 minutes a week. If you're focused and you really take this to heart, you can do this in relatively little amount of time for the number of leads that you can get. So secret number one is that I can get more deals in 1 month than I can in a year in other niches. So as an investor, as a wholesaler, rehabber, sub two, your time is very, very valuable if you are spending your time doing the right things, right? High value activities. But there's a lot of ways that we can get sucked into doing things that are not good uses of our time. And so working with agents can quickly devolve into a huge waste of time if we're trying to herd cats and work with agents who are not qualified, who don't understand our business model. And most of them don't. So when I was a new agent and I wanted to grow my business, I heard about working with investors. I heard from all the other agents in the office, oh, you don't want to work with investors. They're really difficult. They're, just want to drive you around town and then throw out a bunch of lowball offers and make it really embarrassing and hard to work with them. And so I heard that from multiple agents. And unfortunately, kind of at the beginning of my career as an agent, I kind of believed them because I didn't know any better. I knew I wanted to be an investor, but once I started hearing that from more and more agents, it's like, oh, maybe I don't want to be an investor, or maybe I want to be an investor, but not work with investors. Over time, I started changing my mindset. I started learning, well, gosh, maybe it's just their experience. Maybe there is a way to become an investor myself, to learn how to work with investors and have it be profitable, have it be a win-win. And so after the big crash of 2008, I got back into music. I was a music teacher. That was a passion of mine, a dream come true, basically, was to be a music teacher, to be a full-time performing artist, which I became had been and became again after this time. And over the years, as the market started to recover, I had taken some time off just to do music, and I started taking private music students as clients. And what was really neat about that was I wasn't focused on real estate, but I always had it in my back pocket. I always knew I was still going to make a lot of my money in real estate, and I still want to be an investor, and I still want to grow my own portfolio and financial freedom. And I started working in a very affluent area in San Diego and letting people know, as I would work with these parents of the students, the kids, we talk about things and eventually we'd get talking about real estate. And I discovered that some of the parents of these students wanted to actually invest in real estate, wouldn't you know? And one of them actually became a client of mine. And that bottom house in the bottom right was her house. I ended up getting the opportunity to list and sell that house. I was I think a $2.1 million home, if I remember right. So very nice neighborhood, right? Very, very, she did well. I got to sell a lot of homes for her while I was working part-time in real estate. I was doing music full-time, but I was able to work this system as an agent, helping her sell her properties. And I did, I think, about 10 listings and sales for her. So as an agent, it was highly lucrative for me to work with her as an investor because she understood me and I understood her, right? So we had a really good working relationship. And that's one of the things that I hope to share with you tonight is how can you be really valuable to the agent so that they want to bring you all their opportunities, their hottest deals, Okay, so this is the first secret, is that it's not always about real estate. It's about, like JJ's been saying this whole time, it's about the relationships, right? I did not get this by knocking on doors and cold calling. I got this by doing what I love, which is music, and building those relationships. And then the real estate came after the fact. So building relationships with agents, that's based not only on real estate, but on personal relationships, on family relationships, on shared hobbies, on passions, on dreams. These things really do matter, especially long term. And that brings us to secret number two. Secret number two, the dark secret of agents. And again, most agents are clueless about this. It's under everybody's nose, but nobody really understands the importance of this. So you are in for a treat here. Once upon a time ago, when I was a new agent, around 2005, eventually I became a top listing agent and a top producing agent virtually overnight. That's what it seemed like to everybody, right? The reality was I was working my butt off. I worked a lot. I had a lot of different marketing things that I was doing at any given time. And when it started to all click, I looked like, this overnight success. The reality was that I learned how to use technology and systems in my marketing to automate my lead flow and free up my time. And so I was able to get a lot done in very little time, and that really allowed me to close more business. Now, according to the National Association of Realtors, there are an estimated 2 million or more licensed real estate agents. And 20% of realtors, and those terms are often used interchangeably, even though they're not technically the same. A realtor is somebody who is a licensed agent who also goes through and pays realtor dues. They take an extra pledge. They do some additional training. So it's not exactly the same thing, but this is coming from the National Association of Realtors. So 20% of realtors have had their license for a year or less. That means 20% of the agents in your market approximately are new, relatively new. They've only been in the business for about a year. This is really significant. And what that also means is that within 4 to 5 years, about 80% of the agents will have left the business. They will have gotten burned out. They will have said, you know what, I'm not making any money. In fact, I'm losing money because they're paying their real estate dues. They're paying their MLS dues. They're trying to get their marketing going, but they're all over the place. So they're just basically throwing money away. So a lot of agents end up leaving the business within 4 to 5 years. This is a huge opportunity for you as an investor, as a wholesaler, as a sub two. If you understand that most of the agents you're trying to reach out to and try to work with will not be here in 4 to 5 years or even next year, then this can really impact the way that you spend your time in your marketing when working with agents. And what this means is that you must have a system for bringing new agents into your pipeline and building a long-term relationship with them for many years, even after they have left the business, right? If you're spending all your time trying to work with an agent only to have them then disappear after a year, and that was your one agent that you were hoping was going to send you all this business, then poof, you've just missed out on all those other agents that have come in and had one deal there. So we need really what we call oftentimes a marketing funnel to bring in all these new agents into your pipeline, and then a system, a process to onboard those agents into your company in a sense, or your team, and be able to educate them. Right? We need some kind of system for educating them. What is a good lead for a wholesaler? Can you even work together? Sometimes we think as wholesalers that we're in competition with agents. How can we both get a commission? How can we both get a fee out of this? So we need to understand how we can make these win-win relationships. And we also can't be spending all of our time educating each individual agent on that process. That's going to take us forever. We're going to get burnt out. We're going to waste time talking to one agent who's here today and gone tomorrow. And so we need a system to be able to do that. Okay. And this is really important. Again, knowing that many of these agents are going to be leaving the business in 4 to 5 years, but many of them still dream of having some kind of real estate success. And each of them actually still know people and run across opportunities that could be good referrals for you. So that's where it becomes important to maintain that relationship. So that way, even if they've left the business 4 or 5 years down the road, but they trip over a deal and they realize, oh my gosh, this person needs to sell a house pronto, they know to call you first. Okay. So that's the big idea here, is understanding that we need some kind of system, a process. And people ask me, okay, well, what's your favorite process? What's the best process? There's a number of different ways you can do this. I'm going to share with you a few of my favorites, because one, as a newer agent, as a newer investor, I was always very cost minded. What is the investment that I'm going to pay to keep my marketing going, and how long can I afford to do it? So one of the big ones that I stumbled across and really loved was coming up with a monthly newsletter. Okay. And an e-newsletter can be very affordable, right? We're just emailing that out on a monthly basis. Ideally, what's even more powerful is that you also include a print newsletter. I know that's kind of old school, but believe it or not, some people really appreciate it, and it cuts through the clutter. Everybody gets dozens and dozens of email newsletters all the time, but not everybody gets print newsletters with your logo, with your face, with your business contact information, just helping you to keep top of mind, reminding them that you are in business and you are looking for opportunities to buy houses. That's really what this is about. How can you systematize and ideally outsource or automate or delegate this kind of top of mind opportunity for your potential clients? So this line here that I shared, this is a writer downer. If you're taking notes, and I highly would encourage you to take notes, this one little phrase is something that's very simple to say as you're about to wrap up a phone call, as you're about to wrap up a meeting, and it can make you literally tens of thousands of dollars. It can give you many, many deals. So, and you can phrase it the way that you like, tweak it, make it your own, but this is generally about what I would say at the end of a call. So, hey, by the way, it's been great talking with you. I have a small group of people, or I have a small group of agents that I keep in touch with, that I send a free newsletter out just once a month, no obligation. Is that something you'd be interested in? And then wait for an answer. And a lot of times they'll say, sometimes they'll say, oh, no, I get enough junk mail. Okay, no problem. Thanks anyway. Let's catch up next week, or let's catch up next month, whatever our frequency is there. But a certain percentage of them, let's say 10 to 20%, are going to say, yeah, sure, that sounds great. Okay, great. Well, do you prefer email, snail mail, or both? And, get a little laugh out of that sometimes. And then I take down their information if I don't already have it, and I add them to my monthly newsletter list. It took me 10, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. And now I've built my follow-up list. And as JJ's big on, I'm building that relationship. They're going to hear from me now at least once a month in their email, in their print, in their real physical news. They're going to see my business name, my logo, my contact information. And then in addition to that, I'm going to have my other marketing channels that are keeping in contact. So that's an extremely affordable and powerful way to stay top of mind with your potential clients, with your potential agents. Who are going to be hopefully referring you deals. So the next favorite system that I have when staying top of mind, and this is something we did with all of our investors, all of our wholesalers, was we made sure that they had an online posting system. So being visible is extremely important. As JJ said, if you're invisible, the opportunities basically walk right by you. They don't even see you. They don't know you're there. They get that piece of mail that's got some random investor's name. It's not even yours, even though you're best friends with them, you think, and they completely forget about you if you're not visible in the moment when that opportunity comes. So having a system, again, to really keep yourself top of mind and front and center in their mind, so that when they do get that deal and that opportunity, boom, they think of you immediately. That's really key. So posting on social media on a consistent basis, posting on community boards, whether that's Craigslist or, bigger pockets, or some of these kind of bigger, community boards, or even Facebook groups like JJ's Facebook group, and, some of these other ones out there that you may be a part of. Being consistent by offering value, offering content. Videos are, of course, huge. That's ideal that you're posting videos. That really builds a lot of status and credibility. Doing status updates about any projects or opportunities that you're putting out there. And then blog posts. So creating content on a regular basis. This establishes credibility and, again, maintains that top of mind status. And then the third one that I wanted to share, another favorite one that's, again, very affordable and very easy to automate and outsource, is email autoresponder campaigns. We have to be careful with these that they don't sound too canned or automated or cold or robotic. But if we're using them well, these can be extremely effective, especially with agents. Agents always have their phones on them. They're always checking their phone. They're always looking for that next lead. And if you're hitting their inbox on a regular basis, in addition to the monthly newsletter, then they're going to be thinking about you. How can I find a deal for this person? How can I find an opportunity for them to do a rehab where I might be able to get a double end commission, right? Maybe I can represent you on the buying side, the acquisition side, and when you go to list the property. So if we're putting those thoughts into our agents' heads and planting those seeds and hitting them consistently with our autoresponders, hitting them consistently with our newsletter and our social media, they're going to be thinking about us. They're going to be looking for deals that they can bring us on a consistent basis. So secret number 3 is that I only need a little bit of time to make this work. And we can really get focused about this. We could spend as much or as little time, of course, as we want, but ideally we want to be very focused when we're doing our marketing. We want to outsource and delegate to elevate as much as possible. So we could really theoretically get this down to about 30 minutes a week if we leverage other people and systems, tools. So many, if not most, investors, wholesalers, rehabbers, and sub-2s run around trying to do everything and unfortunately end up doing nothing. Okay. So it's really better to do fewer things really well than a bunch of things only kind of sort of. And we call that shiny object syndrome, right? Where you're running around trying to, oh, so-and-so got a deal doing bandit signs. I'm going to go do bandit signs. Oh, so-and-so got a deal doing, open houses. I'm going to go do open houses or auctions or this. And they see some new thing and they run and go and try to do it. They don't get a deal. And then they run to the next thing because somebody else got a deal. And one of the things I learned early on in my business, I was fortunate to actually take coaching, to sign up for a coaching program. And when I did that, it really helped me focus and become accountable and see things as lead source centers. What niche, what source, what system do I need to get leads from this particular niche, from this particular system? I had an expired leads system. I had a for sale by owner system. I had a referral system. And how many leads would that get me each month? How many leads would I be able to convert into listings or sales each month? And so to have those things as an investor, as a wholesaler, you're going to be putting yourself in a whole nother level than the person who just saw some infomercial and, thinks that this is an easy thing and they can just go out and get rich quick. Because if you've been doing this for any given period of time, you already know that that's not a very good way to approach this. And that's probably why you're in some of these groups that JJ and Bud Evans mentioned, is because having the education is critical. These are big numbers we're talking about here doing real estate deals. Most of us can't afford to take too many hits or too many losses in this space. So it's really important that you get educated and that you surround yourself with good people. JJ does a phenomenal job, like you said, of weeding people out. And that is a huge thing to be aware of and concerned with, is that there are people who are maybe unscrupulous in this business. So working with people who you can trust and that you can build long-term relationships with, especially as agents, this is critical to the long-term success of your business. So sometimes we do have to get help. We have to join a group like JJ's. We have to, network and learn from some of the coaches that you've learned about earlier that JJ was, working with and sharing. We have to outsource. We have to delegate. We have to automate. We can't do it all ourselves. Alone we can go fast, but together we can go far. Okay. So other opportunities can get you excited. But with this, working with agents, hopefully you can see now that with agents, you can get repeat business. They're out there hustling. They're out there looking for deals. And if you have a good system for bringing them in, educating them, and staying consistent, top of mind with them, they can bring you deals month after month after month. So that is it for me, JJ. I really appreciate that. I hope I didn't go too long there, but if anybody has questions or if you want to take it away, then I'm happy to answer any questions.
Winston, that was fantastic, brother. Great gold nuggets. I'm excited to watch this again and pick up everything you've got. If not, call you on the phone and try and squeeze some more juice out of the orange there. But for right now, if you guys are watching the video on YouTube, please like Winston's presentation. Please like his video. please subscribe to the YouTube channel. For those of you that are on the call right now, we're going to head to the breakout rooms shortly, so hang on tight. And after the breakout rooms, we're going to hit more Q&A. Everybody else, see you soon. Over and out.